Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your Libertarian car guy, and I thought I'd rant a little bit about the Mazda CX-9 that I'm driving here. It's all new for 2016, and I guess the striking and interesting thing about it, Mazda, in case you didn't know, is the only major car company that no longer sells any engine larger than a four-cylinder engine. Across the entire model lineup, all of Mazda's current products, from the Miata all the way up to this CX-9, which is their largest vehicle, three-row SUV, come with four-cylinder engines only. And the reason for that is twofold. One I object to, the other not so much. The thing that I object to is the pressure from the government in the form of the fuel economy mandates that are putting pressure on car companies to downsize their engines, even in upsized vehicles like this CX-9. Which comes with a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine that's turbo boosted, ostensibly to get better gas mileage than a V6. But I will tell you this, the mileage is nothing to write home about. I don't know if you can see with my crappy camera here that doesn't have much of a focus function, but I've been driving this thing around now for about 4 days, and I am averaging, according to the car's computer, 20.3 miles per gallon. That's nothing spectacular, particularly out of a four-cylinder engine. Now, on the upside, it does produce up to 250 horsepower if you use premium unleaded gas, and that's when you get on boost and get on the turbo. The idea being that you've got the theoretical fuel economy benefit of the small engine with the on-demand power availability of the turbo. So in principle, I don't object to that. And getting to the second reason, when I began this rant, Mazda is doing something rather daring, which they might have done regardless of CAFE, and that is to acknowledge driving realities in this country. A lot of these vehicles that come with V6s and have 300 or 300 plus horsepower, people just don't use that power. It's like walking around with a codpiece, like they did back in Henry VIII's day. I love power. Anybody who knows me and followed my rants and my reviews and my stuff about old cars and muscle cars knows I love powerful cars. I love fast cars. But let's face it, we live in a country where the maximum speed limit in a few places in Texas is, I think, 80 miles an hour. And in most parts of the country, it's 70, maybe 75. People can't really use 300 horsepower cars. Certainly people who tend to buy vehicles like this CX-9, are generally not people like me, or they're people like me who've been defeated by life and are carting around a bunch of kids and not being high performance. So Mazda's idea was, let's develop an engine that's got a really strong mid-range, and turbocharged engines are ideally suited for that, especially the latest generation, which used twin scroll design or similar, to build up the boost almost immediately, literally just off of off of idle RPM, right around 1200, 13, 14, 1500 RPM, delivering the full peak boost essentially at idle speed. And so if you just give it a little gas, again, watch the tach, and I'm just going to tap it a little bit, and I'm hardly revving the engine at all, but it pulls nicely. Mazda apparently did some research, interestingly enough, actual research of how the customers that buy these things tend to drive. And they tend not to be people who, floor it like this, like I do, and hold it down. See, I'm still holding it down. It hasn't hit red line yet, and I still didn't hit red line. People tend not to drive like that, certainly not in Mazda CX-9s or the equivalent vehicles, which are even less sporty, by the way, in looks. This one's pretty sporty in looks and pretty sporty in handling. So anyway, they thought, well, why not have a turbocharged four-cylinder engine with a good mid-range, and let's not worry about 300 plus horsepower, particularly 300 high RPM horsepower, which is what is typical of, say, a V6 without a turbo. The only thing that I take issue with is the mileage. The mileage is not good. I think that a V6 without a turbo would probably get about the same mileage, maybe slightly worse. But on the upside, you lose, I don't know, 2 miles per gallon, maybe 3, and you got a simpler engine without a turbo, without an intercooler, without the complicated exhaust plumbing, without all the peripherals that come with the turbocharged engine, and which will be on you to deal with when the warranty runs out. And regardless of how well engineered they are, the more complicated a system is and the more parts you have, the greater the odds that eventually something is going to break or require attention. So I'm very conservative when it comes to engine design in terms of the type of engines that I would buy myself if I were looking for a car, especially in this category. I'd consider a turbo for a high-performance car, a sports car, something like that. It kind of, you accept some of the downsides because the main criteria there is, wow, how much power does it produce? Is it a lot of fun to drive? Whereas the main criteria here is that it's, it's good and powerful, and it can pull a load. In the CX-9, you can pull up to about 5,000 pounds. And is it durable, rugged, reliable? This may well be. I don't know. Time will tell, and we shall see. Anyway, more up at epautos.com. I just posted an article the other day about practical reasons to justify to yourself or your significant other the purchase of a motorcycle, which I hope you'll enjoy. And I'm working on a political rant about a bill that's bubbled to the surface in California that would require all the cars built and sold in the state, that 15% of the total be zero emissions cars, that is electric cars. And that's just a species of insanity right up there with Der Fuhrer dropping to the ground and chewing on the carpet. And I'll explain why in the rant. Anyway, thanks for watching, and come on down to EP Autos, and hope you'll post some comments, let us know what you think, and we will catch up with you soon.